We might need to pass an offering plate after all that worship. My name is Mark Bedwell, and I had the privilege of being the interim director between Buddy Newsom and Mike Stewart. And I'll tell you what, I've got three families. I've got my family, and my beautiful wife is here tonight with me, my biological family and my children and my wife. I've got that family. I've got my church family, which I love, and it kind of grows as I go from church to church. You just kind of hang on to people from the past and keep adding them. But then I've got the Faith family. When Buddy Newsom introduced me to you guys, I had no idea how big of a part of my life you would become, and I have no idea how big of a part of each of your lives this family has become. Don't take this family for granted, because it is an amazing family. Mike asked me to encourage you, and I just know after that last song what I'm supposed to say to encourage you. 20 minutes. No, just 2 minutes. I'm just kidding. Several years ago, I had a man at my church, and his father was passing away, and he said, I need you to come visit my father. I went in and visited him and his father in the hospital. When I went in there, he said, Pastor Mark, the nurse, Chris, he's not saved. Will you lead him to the Lord? And I said, absolutely not. He looked at me kind of funny. I said, why would I lead him to the Lord? You've been here with him all week long. You're the one that needs to lead Chris to the Lord. Pastor Mark, I don't know what to say. I said, don't worry, God will take care of it. His name is Tom Fields. He's a member at Church of the Mall, and I remember plainly when he gave his gospel presentation. I am pretty sure that when I get to heaven and when we get to heaven and we ask God what was the worst gospel presentation of all time in the history of the world, it will remain Tom Fields until Jesus returns. It was the most discombobulated bunch of words to ever come out of a human being's mouth. And somewhere in the middle of all that was the word Jesus, I think. When he was done, I thought, oh my goodness, I should have done this for him. Unfortunately, his father passed, and I went to the funeral home, and Tom grabbed me and said, you are never going to believe what happened. I said, what happened? Chris came to know the Lord. So tomorrow, when the enemy tells you to shrink back because you don't know what to say, I want to encourage you to remember this song. And you sing the song that you just sang in your heart, and let your heart get to the place of worship that it is now. And when they see that on your face, you can say a bunch of discombobulated words with Jesus in the middle, and they will get saved. Don't stress about it. Just give it to God. That's all he wants us to do. Well, I'm going to go ahead and preach now. So if you got your Bibles, if you turn to Mark chapter 5, verse 1 through 20, your national director, Mike Stewart, who is a great friend of mine, I love him to death, and I know you love him to death. He's going to bring us a word tonight, and the word is from Mark chapter 5, 1 through 20. If you don't have a Bible, we'll sell you one double price for not bringing it to worship tonight. Mark chapter 5, verse 1 through 20. And please apologize, because apparently we thought as faith writers people can read micro print, and so I'm going to do the best I can. I'm good. Mark chapter 5, verse 1 through 20. They went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. And when Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and he broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and he would cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and he fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" My name is Legion, he replied, for we are many. And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them. He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out of that man and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank and into the lake where they were drowned. Verse 14. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man and told him about the pigs as well. Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region. As Jesus was getting in the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but he said, go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. So the man went and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed.